Hello students, you are most welcome in the new lecture of biology, and this is the same chapter, that is the reproductive health, chapter number 4 of CBSE biology. So we are going to discuss today about birth control and contraceptive methods. See children, what are the birth control and contraceptive methods? You can see what are birth control and contraceptive methods. See, preventing the fertilization process is regarded as birth control method or contraceptive method. Hope it is clear. Let us take all the details about it. So let us talk about it. Temporary birth control methods. Let us talk about it. See, the temporary birth control methods, they are for a short period, and they can be the natural methods which can be utilized for the prevention or preventing the fusion of gametes naturally. The first method is periodic abstinence or rhythmic method. In this method, what is happening, that during the menstrual cycle at 14th day the ovulation starts. During the menstrual cycle at the 14th day the ovulation starts, and it leads to the release of ovum. Okay, so this ovum can live for 48 hours. And the sperm cells can live for 72 hours. So during this time, if they both are going to meet, then the fertilization process will start. During this time, when they both will meet, that is the 14th day of the ovulation, and during these days when the gametes will meet, then the fertilization will start and it will lead to the pregnancy. So it should not be there. So the coitus should be avoided during these days. What it is saying, that the coitus should be avoided, the intercourse should be avoided during these days. The next method is continuous abstinence. Abstinence means avoiding anything, stopping anything. So when avoiding of the coitus is there during a definite period of time, then it is avoiding the conception and pregnancy also. Hope you people are understanding. Let us talk about next, coitus interruptus. This is the very old method. In this method, what is happening, that whatever the male penis is there, it is withdrawn before ejaculating sperms into vagina. So during a coitus, a male penis is withdrawn immediately before ejaculating the sperms into vagina. Then the next one is, this is also the natural temporary method. This is lactational amenorrhea. See, after the parturition, means after the childbirth, the prolactin hormone is released by the pituitary gland and the synthesis of the milk starts. Are you understanding? And at the same time, what was happening, that whatever the menstrual cycle was there, which was not there since so many days, since during the pregnancy the menstrual cycle was not there, within 6 to 8 weeks, now this menstrual cycle has to start. So before the menstrual cycle starts, the coitus can be made during these days. Okay, this is not a reliable period, this is not a reliable time, but though it is regarded as little safe. Hope you are understanding. Now barrier methods are there. These are also the temporary methods, the barrier methods which prevent the sperms to fuse with the ovum. So in this, chemicals are used which are spermicide gels or foams. The chemicals may be the spermicide gels or foams. These spermicide gels or foams are applied into vagina to kill the sperms. Hope you are understanding. Now next method is the barrier method. These are also the temporary methods. See, in this, a rubber sheath called as condom is used to collect the sperms, and it is applied by male or the female. In the male, upon the penis, and in the female, it is inserted within the cervix region. Hope it is clear. Now next is, a condom is a single use device, or it is an implement which is used for single purpose at say single time, and it safeguards from the AIDS or STDs, that is acquired immunodeficiency syndrome, and sexually transmitted diseases are prevented due to these kind of the devices or instruments. Okay, now diaphragms and cervical caps, cervix caps or cervical caps are made up of rubber, and they can be inserted before the coitus into the female reproductive tract to avoid any fertilization. This is a diaphragm. Same way the cervical caps also look like. So they are inserted and they are put in the cervix region so as to avoid the fertilization process. Hope it is clear. Next, let us talk about the hormonal barrier. This is done by the use of some pills or tablets, and these pills or tablets which release some hormones to inhibit the fertilization are known as contraceptive pills. Okay, these pills contain sometimes synthetic hormones, that is estrogen or progesterone, but before that you should know that these prevent ovulation. These pills, they prevent ovulation. And how they will prevent ovulation? By preventing the secretion of FSH or LH hormone. They prevent the secretion of FSH or LH hormone by preventing the luteinizing hormone and follicular stimulating hormone release. They inhibit the ovulation, and thus when the ovulation is not done, what will happen? Ovum is not produced, then there is no chance of getting conception. So same way, the hormones like estrogen and progesterone are also in these pills, and these hormones, they make the cervical fluids thick. They make the cervical fluids thick, and they prevent any further kind of a movement of sperms into cervix region. So sperms can't move due to thickness in the cervix fluid. Okay, so it is very interesting. CDRI, Central Drug Research Institute, Lucknow, it has developed a contraceptive pill, Saheli, which is widely used and given free of cost in the government hospitals. Now, let us talk about the devices. These can be the intrauterine devices. What are these? Intrauterine devices. These intrauterine devices, they are helpful for delaying the pregnancy. They are helpful for delaying the pregnancy, and they are coming in the form of loop or T-shape. They are coming in the form of loop or T-shape. So these are inserted into the uterus. These are inserted into the uterus through vagina. Through vagina, they are inserted into the uterus, as you can see in the diagram, and they are done. This insertion is done by a medical practitioner who is an expert in this kind of workings. Okay, and these IUDs, they comprises of copper releasing IUDs such as copper T 380, Nova T, copper 7, multi-load 375, etc. What is the purpose of them? These intrauterine devices, they release copper ions. They release copper ions, and this copper ion prevents the motility of the sperm cells. Hope it is clear. Whatever the IUDs are there, sometimes these IUDs, they can release some hormones. Some IUDs are coming like Progestasert and LNG20. Progestasert and LNG20, they increase the thickness in the cervical fluids to stop the sperm mobility, or sperm motility is prevented. Sperm motility is prevented by hormone releasing IUDs. Children, these IUDs can be inserted and they can be working for 5 to 10 years. They are especially for making a delay in the pregnancy, and they are helpful for making gaps between the children. So now, non-medicated IUDs are made up of steel or plastic, and they are implanted into the uterus to avoid they are fixed into the uterus to avoid any implantation of zygote. So you can see here, if IUD is inserted in the uterus, it blocks the implantation process. Implantation is blocked. Hope it is clear. So I think you people are understanding. Let us talk about the next. The permanent birth controls can be the surgical methods, and these are the methods applied when the person does not want to have increase in its family. When a person do not want more children, then this permanent cure is done. What does it say? In this, for females, tubectomy is there. In this tubectomy method, both the fallopian tubes are surgically cut. A cut is made at both the fallopian tubes, and a knot is put at both the, what you can say, both the fallopian tubes. Knot is put, they are tied. These fallopian tubes, they are tied. You can see here, they are tied. And for making an incision, for cutting these fallopian tubes, some surgical device should be reaching over here. So for that, in the abdomen an incision is made. A cut is made in the abdomen to insert the surgical devices, or sometimes an expert can also do this method by inserting the surgical equipments through vagina. Hope you are understanding. Next is for the males, surgical method, vasectomy. In this, both the vas deferens are cut. You can see both the vas deferens are cut and they are tied. Okay, both the vas deferens are cut and they are tied. And for this, for tying these and for cutting these vas deferences, surgical equipments are inserted through scrotum, through an incision, by the help of a cut through an incision. A cut, the surgical equipment is inserted here, and then the vas deferens is cut and it is tied so as to block the transport of gametes for fertilization. Hope it is clear. Now, medical termination of pregnancy. See, in case of rare severe medical emergency, when there is a chance that lot of problems are there with a female where she can't bear the child, then when she can't have the child and when she can't bear the pregnancy more, then a legal method is used for that, that is medical termination of pregnancy. This method was made legal in the year 1971 by the government. But this termination of pregnancy, medical termination, needs lot of legal procedures. You have to take the permissions. Person has to take the permission from the authorities, and then only this can be performed. So it's a non-invasive, non-surgical method. Okay, and without the permissions, it is regarded as illegal. Now let us talk about the sexually transmitted diseases. See, these are the diseases which are several, they are known with different other names also, like reproductive tract infection, sexually transmitted infection, venereal diseases, and these are transferred from one infected person to the other person by unprotected sexual contact. Their types can be HIV and hepatitis. Through virus, these hepatitis and HIV, they get transmitted. Okay, sometimes they are also transmitted by the use of infected needles. Suppose a person is using infected needle, a medical practitioner is using infected needle to transfer the blood or inject any medicine, then the infected needle, it may cause certain diseases like this. Sometimes a child also develops these kind of problems from its mother, who is still in the mother's womb. The child can develop from the mother. The sexually transmitted infections could be viral, bacterial, fungal, or protozoan. So let us talk about these in detail. Bacterial STI, bacterial sexually transmitted infections, can be gonorrhea, syphilis, chancroid, chlamydiasis, lymphogranuloma, venereum, etc. Same way, the viral STIs are AIDS, acquired immunodeficiency syndrome, hepatitis, genital warts and genital herpes, etc. Fungi can also cause the problems like candidiasis. The fungal and bacterial problems, they can be cured by antibiotics, but the viral problems, virus caused STIs, sexually transmitted infections, can't be treated. So there may be a frequent transmission in the age groups 15 to 24. 15 to 24 years of age people, they are more prone, they are having more danger of getting STIs. So here many kind of the preventive measures can be, but these are only for a short time. They can reduce the risk, they cannot eliminate it completely. Like condoms can reduce the risk of STD, but they can't eliminate it completely. So a person has to avoid making the sexual contact with the unknown or multiple partners. And in case of medical emergency, the person has to consult a doctor without the hesitation. Hope you people have understood and you are learning all these things, all these notes. You are safe at your home and you are following the self isolation as well as quarantine methods. You are washing your hands continuously to avoid the risk of COVID-19. Meanwhile, take care, children. Thank you.